Hello and welcome to Anime Knickknacks. I'm Leoro and we are here today with the November Amiami figure haul, whatever you want to call it. This is actually the first video I am recording for this channel, so if you enjoy it, be sure to let me know. Without further ado, let's get straight into the box. Now, I know this is a figure opening video, but I could not resist. I've been playing so much of Scarlet and Violet, I had to get this little guy, and I feel like I kind of had to show him off a little bit, so here he is. He's just going to sit back here for now. Our first actual figure is this Sans Undertale Nendroid. As soon as this figure was announced, or at least when I saw it on pre-orders, I just knew I had to do the funny thing. Yeah, funny skeleton man, what more can I say? Now, typically, I'm not a huge fan of Nendroids, but this one is an exception for me. Normally, I don't really like their stands, but as you can see with this one, he just kind of sits. So that's a plus for me. And normally they have really obnoxious customizations to be the way I want them to, but this one was quite simple. The only other customizations he really has, I can pull out real quick. He has, obviously, what I used, the different eye. You can do both of them. I just think it's funnier to do one of each. You can have both the same. Obviously, as you saw earlier, you can have him standing. There are these arms, which just have his hands out doing stuff. There's this one that holds a ketchup bottle, but it can also hold this little hot dog. But for me, I just like this simple little, him just sitting there, hanging out with you. Next up, we have one of the Fire Emblem Three Houses Pop-Up Parade collection figures, being the Edelgard version. Now, when I first played through Three Houses, I immediately went with Black Eagles just because I like the character designs from that house the most, and Edelgard was cute. Did not think she'd end up being the character that she was, obviously. But I still ended up liking the house anyways, and her route was very interesting to me. Because I ended up getting the secret ending somehow on my first playthrough, which I still don't know how that, I managed to meet all the requirements for that on the first try, but I did, so that's what I ended up playing it through the first time as. Even now that I've played through the game a handful of times, even though it's been a while, I still can't remember even what the requirements for that house, that secret route was. I literally can't remember it, but I did it on my first try somehow. This is a figure I ultimately really like, because there are not a lot of options when you look for Edelgard. There is a Figma, I believe, and one other scale, but aside from that, Three Houses characters do not have a whole lot of figures. So this pop-up parade line is a very good choice for anyone who might be looking to get characters from Fire Emblem Three Houses, as these are not super expensive and will provide a good variety of characters. Overall, I haven't decided if I'm going to get any of the others yet, but I might end up getting them. I don't know. You'll have to stay tuned for that. Next figure I got off of pre-owned for a pretty decent price is this Tengen Uzui figure. I don't remember what the line is, but I do really like this type of figure, because for me, I'm someone who really cares about the bases of the figures, and ones, for example, pop-up parades have very basic bases, so I don't care for them as much, but ones that have really extravagant bases, I really like. Now here, we can see it more up close and in person. You can kind of see why I was talking about the base. I really like the way they used the different clouds and stuff. It looks really nice. It all came in one nice piece, so I didn't have to worry about trying to assemble it or anything, or break it while doing so. So, that's a plus, obviously, because it would not be good if I broke it. I ultimately really like this figure. You can kind of see the underneath, what the part that it's sitting on looks like. Has a nice look to it. I love the clouds, the way the ribbons, ropes, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. The way they stick out and around really kind of encapsulates his essence of how he's constantly moving around and running during the show. Obviously, the blades look really nice as well on this one. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say on it, though. Facial expression's pretty neat. I like that. Coloring's really nice. Might not come through as well in video, but it does look really nice. Next up we have what is the biggest figure I ordered this month, being this Shinobu from Demon Slayer as well. This is the one that made my wallet scream the most. This is just a simple 1/8 scale with Shinobu in this dynamic pose with some petals or butterflies, something kind of around her. We'll get a better look when we get her out. Alrighty, here she is in her full glory. These do appear to be butterflies, which makes a lot more sense considering she's the insect Hashira. They make up the entire base of the figure, as well as a lot of the supporting parts. This kind of seems to rest on that, though Shinobu does seem to be standing more or less on her own, just with that feet sitting there. Overall, for this one, I really like the pose that she's taking. It kind of wraps up the vibe that she gives of being elegant. That's that's what the word I was looking for. How her really elegant movements and the insect breathing, obviously, that she has, it makes for a really pretty base. Don't know if it comes through super well through camera. I know the images that I saw didn't do it justice, but ultimately it's really cool. It's kind of unfortunate that there are some parts where the butterfly almost just molded together and it's just a bunch of resin, and it's hard to tell that they're butterflies. But towards some of them, you can obviously tell the shape that they're in. And I mean, it makes sense for them to be butterflies since this is the insect Hashira. Now, the final item is actually this shirt that features the two main characters from Licorice Recoil, Chisato and Takina. I got this shirt because this show really meant a lot to me and hit me really deeply. If you've made it to this point in the video, let me know which of these items were your favorite down in the comments. As I said earlier, this is the first video that I have filmed for this channel, so watching it really means a lot. I will be updating this channel with primarily anime-related content and keeping Pokemon to the channel that is primarily Pokemon. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace!